Hi, I'm Rod Faulkner. I'm an analyst in research and analysis at MD Byline, and I'm going to talk to you about our small capital solution and how we can help elevate your capital budgeting and acquisition process. The acquisition of medical capital involves multiple stakeholders: finance, clinicians, biomedical engineering, purchasing, vendors, and regulatory bodies, not to mention your all-important patient population. These stakeholders working together as a team can develop a clearly defined capital budgeting and acquisition process that includes communication and evaluation processes. MD Byline is very familiar with capital budgeting and purchasing. We've defined 7 best practices for hospitals with 100 beds or less. 1. Culture best practices. Your goal is to acquire medical technology at the most competitive price, but your vendor has a very different goal. Senior leadership should encourage a culture of teamwork among all stakeholders, ensuring that communication with vendors is kept as a need to know until the contract has been signed. Assign a single point of contact to manage vendor communications. Play your cards close to the vest to retain maximum leverage. 2. Needs assessment best practices. Clinical departments typically drive the acquisition of new medical technology, while biomedical departments evaluate the cost of capital, consumables, services, and facility requirements. If it sounds complicated, it is. That's why successful hospitals rely on MD Byline to help them understand evolving medical technologies. Involve departments impacted by a technology purchase in your needs assessment process. Appoint experts who can explain both the technology and vendor landscape. Automate and document needs assessment with technology, and don't be afraid to ask for help. 3. Budgeting best practices. How do department directors arrive at a rational cost estimate to acquire technology? Under-budgeting for a capital purchase can lead to shortfalls, while over-budgeting can leave money on the table. Large hospitals often purchase multi-million-dollar capital technology. Their budgets are large, and they can manage a 10% variance. While small hospitals may consider big-dollar items, they purchase far less. Much of their focus is on capital items that cost less than $25,000. Smaller overall budgets mean smaller margin for error. Therefore, it's most important not to mishandle a budget. MD Byline can help small hospitals. First, we'll review your budget before the RFP stage. Next, we'll configure pricing benchmarks for your unique requirements and circumstances. Finally, we'll help you get to a manageable number for capital purchases both over and under $25,000. Let me provide you a snapshot of common evaluated capital products and categories with unit pricing less than $25,000. Defibrillators, for instance. On a per unit cost, automatic external could be anywhere from $1,500 to $2,300. Standard external could range from $10,100 to $14,900. And then mechanical CPR systems, $13,700 to $15,100. Take infusion pumps, for example. A per unit cost for large volume pumps may be $1,820 to $3,000, PCA pumps $2,500 to $3,100, and syringe pumps $2,700 to $4,000. There are many more categories with unit pricing less than $25,000. We'll be happy to share a list with you. Request the list at the end of this video. Review your budget before the RFP stage. Include only benchmarks appropriate to your unique circumstances and compare apples to apples. Get as close to a real and manageable number as possible, and prioritize each need within the broader budget. 4. RFP best practices. Historically, the RFP process is a time-consuming manual effort used by some vendors to steer negotiations in their favor. Managed correctly, however, the RFP represents your best chance to realize savings. It's your opportunity to assert and maintain control of the medical capital acquisition process. Increase efficiency through technology and automate RFP creation, distribution, evaluation, and management. Create RFP templates for different clinical departments and modalities. Weight specific responses with internal scoring and don't share this information with your vendor. Reach consensus with internal stakeholders. This is important before awarding the contract. 5. Quote analysis best practices. MD Byline analysts can add great value during any important technology acquisition. Analysts average more than 20 years clinical experience, and MD Byline has a 30-plus year history of reviewing quotes just like yours. We can help you identify hidden savings that will enable you to better negotiate with vendors. Ensure vendor quotes include line item detail about capital, consumable, and operational expenses. Quotes should explain discounts, payment terms, freight, delivery, and warranty items. 6. Negotiations best practices. Negotiations can be affected by many factors, including time of year, purchase history, planned spending with a vendor, trade-ins, and the competitive relationship between vendors. Don't leave money on the table. Demand specific contract language based upon your understanding of the market. Identify maintenance increases over time to ensure savings have not eroded. Consider pricing from GPOs or strategic alliances only as a starting point. Leverage the power of vendor competition to drive prices down. Pay the right price for the right system, and request a post-analysis consultation with your MD Byline analyst. 7. Service contracts best practices. We can help you understand the service reputation of a vendor or technology and equip you to negotiate the most appropriate, cost-effective service agreement at the point of sale or after. Compare service levels, attributes, and pricing to other hospitals of similar size. Research the reputation and reliability of every piece of equipment, and understand sunset agreements and ensure that service is never interrupted. We've now covered the 7 best practices for the capital budgeting and acquisition process. Turn to MD Byline for help determining the best technologies to purchase within your budget constraints. We'll provide access to objective, up-to-date clinical and financial information through our database, which tracks over 500,000 capital and IT products daily. Our analysts, with an average of 20-plus years of healthcare experience in a clinical or hospital setting, deliver a customized and accurate analysis. We provide resources and guidance at every phase of the value analysis process. MD Byline reviews and analyzes approximately 60,000 vendor quotes and contracts annually. 3 out of 5 of the nation's hospitals rely on MD Byline every day. Thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to working with you.